Oh, readers, it's been a day already and it's only 8:23. Okay. Hi, readers. It's Lori. Welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper. And today we're going to talk about two piles of possibilities. One for Murderous March, which is a read-along that I'm hosting, and one for Middlegrade March. I'm very excited, so let's get started. Okay, so I have two different stacks, two different piles of possibilities for these readathons. We're going to start with Middlegrade March. I usually try to read at least one middle grade book in the month of March to support the readathon, and I try to join for sprints and things like that. This readathon's been going on for a while, and it's hosted by Krista at Books and Jams, Katie is at Life Between Words 1, and Amanda, whose channel is on the middle shelf, but I think she's taken a break from BookTube, but I'm not sure. So go follow all of those women, though, and support them during middle grade March because it's a fun event. And as you know, I don't read a lot of middle grade, but as you know, I haven't been reading a lot of fantasy either, and I find myself immersed in a book I'm currently reading for Fantasy February, so there's always hope for me. I have a stack of 4 that have been on my shelves for a while, and I could read more than one, or I could just read one. So let's talk about, I think this is the oldest one. Yes, it definitely is. So this is the first book in the Kingdom Keepers series by Ridley Pearson. And this book 1 is set at Disney World. I think it's Disney World or Disneyland. And I got this from my niece. She had a number of them, and she's grown now and was unhauling books. And so they brought me a pile of books to go through, and I ended up getting, I think, 3 or 4 of these, and I have not read any of them. So they've been out for a really long time, and I would like to get to this. There are 5 in this series altogether, the Kingdom Keepers series, and it was published in 2005. So definitely a backlist, both in the time it was published, but also in the sense that I've had it for a while. So this is 5 young teens that are trapped as models for a theme park ride, and you can probably figure out which one it is, but I'm not going to tell you. So there are villains and witches who threaten the future of Walt Disney World and the stability of the world outside the walls. There's a technology called DHI, which stands for Disney Host Interactive and Daylight Hologram Imaging. And Finn Whitman, an Orlando teen, and 4 other kids are transformed into hologram projections that guide guests through the park. However, this new technology turns out to have unexpected ramifications that are both thrilling and scary. So Finn finds himself transported in his DHI form into the Magic Kingdom at night. Is this real? Is he dreaming? I got to tell you, the reason why this really appealed to me is because I have forever, as long as I can remember, because I went to Disney World for the first time when I was pretty young, thought about sneaking into some of the Disney rides and riding them all night long. I know now as an adult that wouldn't be possible and they would have found me, but it was always sort of a fantasy of mine. So this would be a fantasy middle grade, and I think it'll be very, very fun. And I love Disney World. I still really do, even though the prices are super high. This one is a newer book to us. This one is Kate McKinnon's Millicent Quibb, School of Etiquette for Young Ladies of Mad Science. My partner really wanted to get this, and she read this one as well as, did she read the second one? I'm not sure. I got them both on audio, but we got an opportunity to get this one really inexpensively in a sale somewhere, and so we got the hard copy of this. It also has a beautiful set of end papers with an antiquarium in Rhodocessets, USA, which is the former capital of mad science of the Northern Hemisphere. So in this book, you'll learn to find and care for unnatural animals, design and build mad machines, and identify and use maniacal minerals. You're following the true tale of Gertrude, Eugenia, and Dee Dee Porch. And I love Dee Dee Porch because my sister's name is Diane, but we always called her Dee Dee when I was a kid. 3 sisters who don't belong, not in the snooty town of Antiquarium, not with their snotty adopted family, and not at their snobby etiquette school, where brooches outnumber books and manners outweigh morals. Until one day they receive a mysterious invitation from Millicent Quibb, a mad scientist with oysters in her bathtub and pickled brains on her bookshelf. As the Millicent Quibb School of Etiquette, they discover the pizza is fatal, the bus is powered by gerbils, and the dean of students is a hermit crab. Dangerous? Yes. More fun than they've ever had? Absolutely. Sounds so much fun. Not particularly long. I can't wait to at some point get to that. I have that on audio, I think, as well. So that would be fun. This one is one my daughter gave me with no jacket, mind you, but I'm going to put it up for you here. This is The Strangers, and this is by, is her name Margaret? Let me look and see because I don't remember now if her name is Margaret. Yes, it is. It's Margaret Peterson Haddix. Okay, so you can't see the cover of this, and this one has beautiful end pages as well. I'm so excited about these. I'm not kidding. This one is probably the longest of all of these. It is not listed as page numbers. Okay, here we go. 405. So that's kind of a middle grade big book summer pick for me if I don't get to it, right? So that's fun. So these are about the Greystone kids, and I hate to, I'll do it like this so you can see it. The Greystone kids, Chess has been the protector over his siblings who are Emma and Finn. Emma loves math, and Finn does what Finn does best, which is being silly and adored. Finn is probably the youngest. What do you think? I can say that with all confidence because I was probably silly and adored as well. But they've been very happy, the three of them and their mom. First, there's a report about some missing children, and they all three want to try to help and support finding these missing children because that just seems terrible. They've been kidnapped, and they all share the same first names as Emma, Finn, and Chess. So that's when they start to sort of wonder what's happening. And then they discover they all have identical birthdays. So that's even more scary, right? Then they end up in the custody of Ms. Morales and her daughter, Natalie, while their mother is off on a trip, a sudden, like she has to go away on this trip, which is a little bit odd. And this leads to a number of things that they find, which are clues and complex codes and names and all sorts of things. So there's a dangerous secret that will turn their lives upside down. My daughter didn't love this one, hence why she gave it to me. And I think she gave me another one by this author as well. But this has a 3.83 star. So I will say that that is good enough for me to give it a shot at some point. And it was a nominee for the favorite middle grade and children's books in 2019. So what makes you you is the tagline on the synopsis of this, and I think that that will be a lot of fun. Right, and then the last one in this stack is Until Tomorrow, Mr. Marsworth by Sheila O'Connor. This is one that I got not long ago, but last year, and it is a middle grade, and it was recommended by Krista, so this probably is the one I will try to begin with, and because it's probably also the most sort of connective to me at the moment, but this is set in 1968 about a girl named Renee Kelly, and she's a paper person, a paper delivery person. It says paper boy, but let's just say she's a paper delivering human. She is young. She lives with her brothers and her grandmother because her mother passed away, and she's very proud of this paper route, and she loves doing this. And she meets a man along the way who won't open the door to greet her, and his name is Mr. Marsworth. And she understands that, but she leaves a letter introducing herself, and he answers, and they become pen pals, she and Mr. Marsworth. And Krista loved it. These are some of the notes that they write back and forth to each other. You know how much I love an epistolary novel. Give it some middle grade joy and feels around the 60s, and I'm all in. So again, this is probably going to be at the top of my pile of possibilities, but that doesn't mean I won't read 2 middle grade books. You never know. Let's go on to Murderous March, which is the read along for the month of March that I created not long ago. You can check out more information about it on my channel. There's a video talking about each month of the year, but I also have some bookmarks in my Discord group. So if you want to grab that, you can print out 4 as of now, and I'm going to be making the next 4 months very soon. And we can read the same books together, or you can read whatever books you choose to read for Murderous March, and we may have a live event. I'm still noodling over that because we could do a sort of a discussion in the Discord too, and we could just add things as we go along. So I'm going to be doing kind of a video to pull that very soon because it's almost the end of February already. But I am reading one currently for Fantasy February and loving it. But Murderous March is definitely going to be a pile of possibilities. I have 5 here. This one I've been looking at for a while because it's on my shelf near where I do my morning pages journaling. This is Girl Waits with Gun by Amy Stewart, which is part of a series called The Cop Sisters, and I have not started this one. This one came out in a long time ago, has a lot of buzz. This one came out in 2015. I mean, not terribly long ago, but a while ago, right? And I have never gotten to it. So this is a sort of a golden age kind of mystery. Constance Kopp and her sisters suffer a run-in with a ruthless, powerful crook, and Constance leaves her quiet country life to team up with the local sheriff and exact justice. As a war of bricks, bullets, and threats ensues, Constance realizes that this racketeer's history may be more damning than she thought, but now that she's on the case, he won't get away. Quick-witted, full of madcap escapades, The Girl Waits with Gun is a story of one woman rallying the courage to stand up for and grow into herself with a little help from sisters and sheriffs along the way. I love that this author also wrote a book called The Drunken Botanist, which makes me just feel like, oh, that's interesting. But I have a couple more of these in a bind up of several, 3 maybe, but I never did read this all this time later, and I feel bad about that. But, you know, it is what it is. This one is fairly chunky as well. This is 410 pages as well. So that would keep me busy during the month, right? And again, I feel bad, but it's a backlist, so I don't feel bad because I'm getting to my backlist. I also have a favorite author of mine, and there are 2 that I have not read. This first one is What Have You Done by Sherry LaPina. I love this author. They're not all 5 stars, believe me, but they're very compelling for me, and they're thrillers, mysteries, and I can't stop. So this one is about Fair Hill, Vermont, a sleepy little town where teenagers get their kicks telling ghost stories in the old graveyard. Parents trust their kids will arrive home safe from school. Everyone knows everyone. Curtains rarely twitch. Front doors are left unlocked. Sounds like where I grew up. But this morning, all of that will change because Diana Brewer isn't lying safely in her bed where she belongs. Instead, she lies in a hayfield circled by vultures discovered by a local farmer. How quickly a girl becomes a ghost. How quickly a town of friendly, familiar faces becomes a town of suspects and a place of fear and paranoia. Someone in Fair Hill did this. Everyone wants answers. Sherry LaPina writes a great, quick read of a mystery. They're typically a group of people that are somewhat closed, maybe not locked in, but closed circle, and they are just compelling to me. So I keep on getting them. So I got this one too. She didn't see it coming, which this one came out, I think, last year and the other one the year before, but let me not tell you the wrong thing. She puts one out every year. Yes, 2025. Also, Sherry LaPina, I did a whole video about her, so that's also there in a Then We Were Murdered, I think, series, but she's from Canada. So a beloved wife and mother disappears, a luxurious condo building transforms into a potential crime scene, and can the detectives find her before it's too late? This is about Bryden and Sam. They are thriving in their careers. They have a luxury condominium. They have friends and a cherished daughter. Perfect life for the perfect couple that didn't see it coming. Sam receives a call at his office. Bryden, working from home that day, has failed to pick up their daughter from daycare. Arriving home with their little girl, he finds his wife's car in the underground garage. Upstairs in their apartment, her laptop is open on the table and her cell phone nearby, and her keys in their usual place in the hall. This is why I bought this book. Sherry LaPina, first off, and also it's one of those, houses. Lucy Foley says it's stunning with whiplash twists and turns, which is usually true of Sherry LaPina as well. So if you've never read anything by her, I highly recommend it. This one I got a while ago. I was so excited that Marble Hall Murders was released. This is book 3 in this series that I have loved. This is the Susan Ryland series, and I want to reread the others, but I also kind of want to get to these first. But this one is very, very big. It is, they all are. They're very, very big. But this one is about Susan Ryland, and I'm not going to tell you too much because I don't want to know too much because I want to be surprised. But anyway, if you've read books 1 and 2, you probably know that she was on a Greek island And she's going back to England, but I'm not going to tell you why. Just saying it. And she works for she's freelancing for a London publisher. She's given the last job she wants, which is working on a continuation of an Atticus Pund novel called Pund's Last Case, which is the way that we realize that this is the last one in this series, I'm pretty sure, by Anthony Horowitz, which really bothers me. However, I understand, but I believe this is also, as the others have been, a book within a book, and I cannot wait to get to this. It is super chunky, though. It is 579 pages. Yep, I know, but I could do it. I'm reading big books all the time, right? I'm loving big books. I'm reading one right now. Karen Slaughter's We Are All Guilty Here. It's an exclusive edition I got from Barnes and Noble as well, and I have not gotten to it. This came out last year. Everybody was a buzz about this. Karen Slaughter writes some really great mysteries, dark stuff. I have not read enough by her. Look, here are the people that have blurbed her in the back. Harlan Coben, check, books up there. Sherry LaPina, check. Gillian Flynn, check. Tess Gerritsen, haven't read anything by her. Michael Connolly, no, but I've heard of him. Kathy Reichs, check. And Lisa Gardner, check. I know, right? Some people just have it in them to make thrilling mystery novels. This is the new North Falls series, so this will be book one. Look out if you're not wanting to read another series. Welcome to North Falls, a small town where everyone knows everyone, or so they think. Again, I grew up in a small town outside of Chicago. I get it. Until the night of the fireworks, when two teenage girls vanish and the town ignites. For Officer Emmy Clifton, it's personal. She turned away her best friend's daughter who needed help, and now she must bring her home. But as Emily combs through the puzzle the girls left behind, she realizes she never really knew them. Nobody did. Every teenage girl has secrets, but who would kill for them? And what else is the town hiding? I hear this one is really good. So why haven't I gotten to it? I don't know. It has an annotated list of her comments at some parts of the book, but this is 437 pages. And so again, most of these books are pretty good sized, and I'm all for it. I'm all in. Murderous March and Middlegrade March are going to be fantastic. There's a large dichotomy there, I understand. So you don't have to participate in either one of these if they're not your thing. All right, so guess which ones I'm going to prioritize. I'll give you a second as I stack these up. All right. I already said I'm going to prioritize Until Tomorrow, Mr. Marsworth. I'm pretty sure that will not change. And I'm also going to prioritize What Have You Done? Yeah, because it's faster, a little bit quicker than Mr. Marsworth, but also slightly shorter. And these are the ones that both are holding my interest right now. So they will be on my pile of possibilities. However, they're more likely to be read than some of the others. We'll see. I am drowning in books I want to read right now. I'm drowning in books I've hauled. I'm drowning in library books. I'm just drowning. No, I'm not. I'm swimming. I'm keeping my head above water, but now and again I get tired and I feel like I'm sinking into the pool. So let me know what you're doing for either Middlegrade March or Murderous March or neither of the above, what you'll be reading in the next month, do you think? Which of these books you've maybe read, heard of, liked, disliked, think might be really great, think might be not so much. Let me know in the comments below kind of where you're at with these authors, with Middlegrade March, with Murder, anything you want me to know about yourselves. If you don't want to leave a comment, you can leave, let's see, a newspaper emoji. You can leave a gun emoji, which I don't really recommend, but you could. You could leave a book emoji to go with this one, which has a book, and you can read or leave a bicycle. I think this one has some, yeah, it does. This one has bicycles on it, so you can leave a bike as well, letting me know what you maybe would want to read, or just leave an emoji because you want me to see it. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this today, please feel free to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to have you in my little community. And as always, happy reading. Bye.